This guy has been inspected and approved by Luminous.
Hey guys, this is Sunsfan and welcome to the official Dota Cinema Guide to Juggernaut. If you aren't familiar with this hero, you may want to watch the introduction we did for him at the corresponding link. Juggernaut is an agility carry hero whose ability to get consistent kills in lane makes him a hero to truly reckon with. He isn't one of the hardest carries in the game, but can definitely provide a lot of DPS if you start getting out of control in the farm department.
Skill build.
The accepted skill build for Juggernaut is really quite unique in the fact that you get stats relatively early for the sole fact of having enough mana to be able to use your Blade Fury and Omni Slash combination at level 6. So to recap, levels 1, 3, 5, and 7 you will skill Blade Fury, while levels 2 and 4 are reserved for stats. You'll skill your ultimate whenever it's available, while generally starting to max out Blade Dance at level 8. Healing Ward is usually left for last, but you can pick up a level of it earlier if you feel the need. And if your team plans to push relatively early, they can also level it up over your Blade Dance since the heal is ridiculous.
Item build.
Honestly, one of the only non-solo heroes you can technically get boots as a first item would be Juggernaut, but it's still frowned upon. For starting items, you'll want to get some sort of regeneration to go along with 1 Slippers of Agility in order to perhaps create a Wraithband or Poor Man's Shield in the future. Then you have the choice between a Quelling Blade and a Stout Shield. Stout Shield could be good if you expect to get harassed very early, but Quelling Blade is usually the choice, especially considering a certain item pickup for the mid-stage of the game. The boots of choice for Juggernaut are most definitely phase boots because of the fact you can use them while spinning in order to gain unit walking and extra speed. Treads could also be picked up if you feel a little extra stats are needed. In the laning stages of the game, you'll want to get your Perseverance as soon as possible because you need as much regeneration as possible in order to continue getting potential kills in your lane. This Perseverance will be turned into a Battle Fury at the earliest possible time. This, in combination with Quelling Blade and Blade Dance, will destroy creep waves and have you well on your way to a great farming game. In the mid stage of the game, you have a healthy choice of items to choose from once your Battle Fury is completed. A Desolator or MKB are solid choices for a heavy DPS build, while Vlads are also an excellent item, although it would be preferable for someone else to pick them up, as it will take a precious inventory slot in the later stage of the game. And also don't count out Sage and Yasha, which will give you a nice mix of tankiness and DPS, while also helping you catch up to your enemies with both the extra move speed and maim. If you don't plan to get any other orbs, you could definitely go for a Helm of the Dominator, which of course could be turned into a Satanic in the later stages. And as with a lot of carries, a BKB is an excellent choice in many games. You may ask, what's the point of getting magic immunity when you can achieve that with a simple spin? Well, the answer to that is once you arrive at late game, you should almost never use your spin because your auto attacks will deal a crap load more damage. Speaking of late game, we have a nice collection of luxury items to be picked up as well. We mentioned the Satanic for overall tankiness and survivability, but you could also opt for a Butterfly, which will give you a lot of damage and attack speed to go along with good survivability versus DPS dealers. Another item that is excellent on Jugs in the late game is an Assault Cuirass, which is another item that not only provides you with attack speed, but also negative armor DPS and general tankability as well.
Gameplay.
As we've talked about in the laning stages, you need to be as aggressive as possible because there are very few heroes who can withstand a full Blade Fury when coupled with a stun or slow. And although it's stating the obvious, try and use your ultimate on heroes when there are no lane creeps around. This is especially prevalent when you plan to dive towers. Based on the game clock, you need to know whether an enemy creep wave is to be expected. Also, like we talked about, don't use your spin in the later stages of the game other than to dodge incoming projectile spells. You could also use this to your effect when trying to take down a tower, as anything you don't hit while spinning is able to be auto-attacked even while you're using your Blade Fury. In teamfights or pushes, be sure to use your ward at an effective time. The placement is crucial since it only has 1 hit point. Your team needs to realize how ridiculous this heal is and must protect it at all costs. As far as the fighting is concerned, just right-click, and of course use your ultimate if you have good opportunity to catch only heroes, or if you need to stop taking damage as you will be invulnerable through the entire Omni Slash.
Friends and foes.
Friends of the cuddly Juggernaut would be lane partners who can help him net some easy kills, aka those with no item dependencies that have a slow or disable. Examples of this would include Venomancer, Vengeful Spirit, and Crystal Maiden. Heroes Juggernaut can't stand to go against are those that can easily avoid or even counter his early game presence, as well as those that deal a lot of physical damage, therefore rendering your ability to go magic immune completely useless. Examples of those that lane well against Juggernaut would include Omni Knight with his Repel, which will effectively counter your spin, and Dazzle, whose Shadow Wave will go through your spin completely. As far as late game carries are concerned, take your pick. We have Void, Anti-Mage, Drow Ranger, and Sniper, all of which will out-DPS Juggernaut in the late game with equal farm. Thanks for watching, guys, and please remember to subscribe to our YouTube. Also, a special shout out goes to Flawless and Luminous for their help in writing this guide. You can check them out at their respective YouTube channels, which are linked in the video description. And finally, be sure to check out our new website at dotacinema.com, where you can find a ton of Dota 2 videos along with our live streaming page, which includes me playing with you guys on a nightly basis. My name is Sunsfan, and until next time.